Hey guys, we're starting to not just learn about the parts of a wave, but we're learning how to calculate different speeds and wavelengths and frequencies of different waves. So I kind of want to walk you through this process really quickly. And this tutorial will follow along with your worksheet, your wave speed problems worksheet with the same assignment. So as we're going through the tutorial here, go ahead and work on your worksheet. And yeah, let's take a look at what we've got here. So the formula for calculating wave speed or frequency or wavelength is this. We've got lambda, which is the symbol for the wavelength, equals velocity, which basically means speed, divided by frequency. So remember that wavelength is the distance in a wave between a crest and a crest, or maybe a trough and a trough, or anywhere on a wave in that same spot on the next wave. That's a wavelength. It's measured in meters, so shortened to m. Wave speed or velocity is measured in meters per second, or m divided by s. And the frequency is measured in hertz. Remember that frequency is how many waves pass by a certain point in a second. So next up, I want to put this in terms of something that we call an equation triangle. Equation triangles help us to remember and calculate equations more easily. So the wave equation triangle is this. On the top of it, you've got velocity or speed, okay? On the bottom, you have frequency and wavelength. And we're going to use this to help us solve for all three of these. So let's take a look at problem number 1 on your worksheet. This is it right here. It tells you a couple of things. It says this wave has a speed of 100 meters per second and a frequency of 10 hertz. It also says that we're solving for wavelength. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out how to calculate this by looking at our wave equation triangle. So we look at this triangle and we figure out what we're solving for. In this case, wavelength, and the symbol for wavelength is lambda. So the next step is to just cover up whatever it is you're solving for, in this case lambda, and what you're left with is your equation. So it tells us that lambda equals v over f. Lambda equals speed over frequency. So we take this and we toss it up here. This is our formula for this problem. And then our next step is to, of course, show our work and include units. So now that we have our formula, we're going to kind of fill in the blanks. Now we know that lambda equals velocity, and we know that our velocity is 100 meters per second. So we put that here. Divided by frequency, and we know that our frequency is 10 hertz, so we put that here. So lambda equals 100 meters per second over 10 hertz. And then the last step is just to calculate what that actually is. So what I do is I take 100 over 10, which gives me 10, but then I want to include units always in science and math. So I have to remember that what I'm solving for is wavelength, and wavelength is measured in meters. So my answer to this question is 10 meters. And I'm hoping that makes sense to you guys. If it doesn't, let me know and we can go over some more together. This process, if you follow it, should get you through all of the first page of this worksheet. When you get to the second page, you have some word problems. So you always have added steps with word problems. This is question 11, which is the first question on the back page. It tells us that a sound wave has a frequency of 110 hertz, a wavelength of 3 meters, and then it tells us to find the speed of the wave. The first thing you need to do in any word problem, really ever, is circle important information. So it's given me the frequency, 110 hertz. It has given me the wavelength, which is 3 meters. It has also told me exactly what I'm solving for, which is the speed of the wave. So I just need to collect that information before I decide how to use it. And then the second step is the same thing as our first problem. We look at what's missing or what we're solving for. And in this case, we're solving for speed, which is v. So we cover up the v and we look at what's left. It's frequency times wavelength. So v equals f times lambda. All right, so here's my formula. I'm going to write that V equals F times lambda under formula, and then I'm going to fill in what I know. I know that V is going to equal frequency, which is 110 hertz, times lambda, which is 3 meters. So that's where I show my work and I include units. And then lastly, I'm going to calculate. So 100 times 3 gives me 300, and I know that I'm solving for speed. Speed is measured in the units of meters per second. All right, so that's how you get through this particular worksheet, and any frequency, wavelength, or speed of a wave problem. Use this on your worksheet. Touch base with me if you need anything else, and thank you so much.